Hi everyone, Mo here with my vlog for the week of April 11th, 2022. And happy Sunday morning, happy Easter to those who celebrate. And here I am. It has been a week of painting, mostly focused painting as much as possible. Actually, painting happened only for 2 days. The remaining 4 days was very focused on my youngest. She had early release and all of those, shorter school days and conferences. So a bit of the week went into that, which is good. Just keeping in touch with her teachers and understanding her progress is very important to me. And then this week kind of okay, where do I start with this? Yeah, so I ordered a pack of canvas from Michaels because I for the show, and for one they were out of stock on the size I wanted, so I ordered the other size that I wanted. So when it arrived, unfortunately, it was only half the shipment. And so at first I thought maybe there's another box coming, but it looked like, according to the tracking information on the website, it was like everything has been delivered. But so I contacted them, and after 2 days of contacting, they're fixing the problem, they're sending a replacement. But yeah, that took up a bit of my time unnecessarily, and human errors, not really something one can prevent always. And I'm glad that they are replacing it. So, but yes, it sure caused some delay in the workflow that I had in mind. Other than that, yes, I have not read much because I simply didn't have the time. But I am looking at this book. This is by Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. And I have been engaged with this book for almost a month now. And it's my second time reading it, and it still find things strike me differently a second time. Let's just say that. So I was reading this, and here I had to stop. Like, put yourself and your work out there every day, and you will start meeting some amazing people. A quote by Bobby Solomon. And that is so true. I have met many amazing people that I got to meet in person, met them online, then got to meet them in person. And a lot of it's very enriching, this experience of exchange. And honestly, when I look at my work, I can't really tell if there has been noticeable improvement in the work that I put out. But because I put out, what I find is I lose a little bit of the fear of showing my work. And creative expression is an inherently extremely vulnerable process. It's also a humbling process. Like, the more I work on it, the more, like, you come face to face with the limitations of your skill, the limitations of tools, but the imagination is far more beautiful, far more, it's unbound. And just, bridging that gap, I can't say that I have bridged the gap, but I feel that at least I'm trying to move more toward the imagination with whatever skill, whatever tools, expertise or not. But it's such a humbling process. You understand that it's a privilege to be creatively expressing yourself, to be engaging in a creative profession. I don't know if I was doing some other job, what my experience and feelings would be, But with this, it feels like I am really not the artist myself. It's just I am simply a tool, and all I can do is be prepared, be a clean, ready tool for things to happen through. It probably does. I'm not able to articulate it in a way that would make complete sense probably to anybody, but these kinds of feelings and experiences are very, very hard. I find it very hard to put in words, but they are very deep, and it's a flow of its own. Even though it's not perfect, it's not even close to where I would like for things to be, yet there is the gratitude of the opportunity as well as the joy of that, uh, trying to express what I feel, what I think, how I see. And overall, and it's also a very, it is hard work. I have had non-artist family members who would say like, yeah, you just play all day. I won't deny that there is a huge element of play in creative work. However, what they fail to see and appreciate, probably because it's not their experience, is that this is hard work. At the end of my work night, and I sometimes stay up late to, not on school nights because I have to be up next morning and all that, but whenever I can, it's just, I feel that my neck, my hands, my shoulders, my head hurt, and it's like, it's, yeah, you either understand it or you don't. And even if you don't understand, you always have the option of seeing it as someone else's experience and honoring it as so. But yeah, it is hard work, no matter who says what. In my personal experience, it's physically painful at times. Good morning. This is Friday, 15th of April 2022. There is no school today on account of Good Friday. I have arrived at my paint desk, and as I am trying to bring her about, and I think this is like, I'll finish out the details and then call it a complete painting. That's all. Right now on my desk, this is the 6th of 12 paintings for the May exhibition, and there are other paintings spread all around the room. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a bit alarming that I'm only on to my 7th painting, 7 out of 12, and I have, oh boy, some 12 days left before I need to seal the paintings and all that. Whew, we'll see how far we can go and how it all unfolds. And what else did I do? I worked on my sketchbook. This is the Michael's thing that I'm going back and forth calling. This week I did work a little bit on my sketchbook. I was referring to some of the classes on sketchbook revival, which, by the way, I want to mention, and there's going to be a link in the description box below. Karen has very generously extended the event replay until April 30th. So if you haven't signed up and if you feel like you want to, I would say please do, because you still can. And these classes are quality classes. You will see that there are several ways of doing things, and not all of those ways may be your way, because when I take these lessons, I know that there are some things that I will never try again. But I'm glad I tried, and sometimes you have to try things just to know what you don't want to do. And that is not to say that the thing is not good, it's just may not be your preference at the time. But still, it was very enriching, and getting to make a little time to learn something for myself, to do something where I am not, I am not the one thinking things up. It's very refreshing. It's very enjoyable just to see the passion of other creatives and how they express it in all kinds of fun ways. I recall one of my favorite things. I'm going to share one of my pages because I'm going to save most of it for my sketchbook book. Today I'm a little tongue-tied in the morning. Sketchbook flip through for April, but I loved this one. This was Carla Sondheim, and she was doing stylized Zoom portraits. And it was very fun doing it. It's like, remember those little cartoon strips from my childhood? So she did in a very different manner, and I really loved her like loose, free style. I am not quite there myself, so I did it the way I could, and I really enjoyed it. And there were also some cat portraits. I believe it was St. MacLeod. They were cat portraits. It was so cool. She was doing numbers, and I'm sure many of you have already seen her class and enjoyed it. But for me, it was a new thing, making like I remember seeing like shapes being made into animal things and different things when I was a kid. But she was doing it with numbers, and I had such a fun time. It was just in the artistry of it, at least my artistry in this case, it's not the focus, it's just I had so much fun. Like this was a 4 and then it became a cat. I had such a blast doing that. And now that spring is close, the temperature is still odd. Sometimes it's super cold, I'm having to run heat inside the house, and then there are some times when it's pretty warm and you feel like, oh, I wish I could run the AC or something. So it's a seasonally very turmoil, I don't know how to say this, seasonal turmoil. Anyway, temperature turmoil. Turmoil may not be the right word. And so I found many flowers and leaves that were on the ground, and I don't really work with dried flowers, but this time it was just on the ground and I didn't want to, people to trample on it. So I picked it up, and I have no idea how to dry flowers. Like this is a very shiny surface, so I figured maybe I should put it in a paper towel. Because those old phone books, the paper quality was far more absorbent than this. This is like coated. This is a catalog, so obviously it's a beautiful catalog, but it's not very good for pressing flowers. But so I put them in little paper towels, and there were more, and I don't know what the names of many of these things are, but didn't deter me from collecting them. This is a cherry blossom. I don't know, can you see it even? Oh, it's so delicate, so delicate. I don't know if you can even see this. Yeah, this is from my yard, and my goodness, I'm so scared of handling it. I'm just going to put it back. I don't know how long I need to leave it in there. They look pretty dried to me now. I have no idea what I'm about to do with it, but it is something I couldn't resist. And I'm sure there are many smarter ways of pressing flowers. I don't know. I am very limited in my knowledge of such things. And this week I start today is day 64 of my 100-day project, stepping into week 10. I'm like, we are past the midpoint, way past the midpoint. And yeah, you see me do this every morning on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I have my link in the description box below if you want to follow me there. And it's just, yeah, spending a little bit of my morning. And sometimes last week, I was seeing that the light was so fluctuating, and I tried to do it in the natural light. The light was so fluctuating. Some days it was so bright, and it's before I'm dropping my kid to school, so I did not have the time. It didn't even occur to me that I should check the exposure and all that on, not exposure, what do you call those? I'm not very well versed in tech speak. Anyway, the one that controls the light inside of your camera. I should have adjusted that, which I didn't realize until much later when I was posting the video itself, and I said, oh, this almost feels so washed out. And well, still glad that even though the video was not of the best quality, at least I did the work. And this is not to excuse the bad video, but it's just, sometimes with time constraints and other responsibilities, we have to choose of what is of highest importance. And to me, the higher importance was actually practicing the hand lettering, spending a little time with words that meant something to me, and kind of, at least to have an intention for my day. And then the video, of course, was very bad. Apologies. And this week, my son's going to turn 17, and he is going to get his driver's license. So I got him some gifts. He works. He makes his own income. So, but at least I'm celebrating that he is getting his driver's license. And this is a car toy I got for him. This is from Big Hero 6. The character of Baymax. Obviously, this is a tiny Baymax, but somehow Baymax, the way the illustrators imagined him, is amazing, because you look at toys of Baymax toys and you feel that comfort. And he was a personal care assistant, if I remember correctly. And I always remember, like, are you satisfied with your care? That was once the person said yes, that's when he gets to deactivate and power down. And I remember after we watched the movie, we had a nightly ritual of, like, my kids no longer needed being tugged in. At least the older kids did not need getting tugged in anymore. But, it was some nights I would just walk in there, check in on them. They would probably be reading a book or whatever they are doing, mostly on their phones. But still, I would sometimes ask them, are you satisfied with your care? And so let's power down. So when I saw this car toy, I remembered that. And that is kind of a chuckle, and it's a head that nods, so that's very cute. And I recall, I'm not going to unfold the shirt because I could never put it back properly, but it's like, the thing that goes round and round when it says something is loading. And it says, I am thinking. I remember when my son was in kindergarten, his teacher would give them some independent assignments, and he would doze off. Like, he would close his eyes and just doze off. And the teacher would just like, hey, how are we doing? And he would be like, I'm thinking. And it was so funny. The teacher shared with me, and I never forgot. So when I saw this, I am thinking, and it's loading, I just remembered that. And yeah, childhood, your children's childhood is so fleeting. They are born, the next day they are in school, the next day. Of course, when I was raising them, it didn't feel like that. It seemed like endless cycles of feeding and changing and all those things. But it goes really quickly. And right now he's going to be 17, and I'm like, wow, where did the time go? And remembering these little things, it's so amusing. Like, yeah, if I could give myself one advice to my younger mom self, I would probably say, it is understandable that you're frustrated at times, because it is hard work, and there is a, like, you are in this game body, mind and soul. There is no compartmentalization in parenting. If you're a full-time mother, you know what I'm even if you're a full-time parent, you know exactly what I mean. And it's a full contact sport. You can't, there is no bypass. You have to do it, you have to be it, it's a verb. Parenting, being a parent is a verb. And but this, what feels hard now, you will look back at it with humor at some point. And to fast forward that to me as parent now, I would still say the same. Like, obviously over the years I have grown in patience. Now there is only one young kid here. So all of those things, it's not that the kids are perfect or the parents are perfect, but it's the process that doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. So yeah, this is like mostly thinking out loud, and if it touches anybody, if anyone needs to hear it today, well, there you go. I sound such like a wise woman giving advice to other people, even though I know so little myself. You know, these are lived experiences. These are not learned in books. So yeah. And of course, if I got my son some gifts, I wanted to give my youngest also something. So I got her more Shopkins, because we can never get enough Shopkins. Very addicting, and yeah, and beautiful. I admire the detail of this work. Words are not coming out well today. The details of the things is very beautiful, and I love it. Now, there you go. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? I actually made a list of things where I wrote down what I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah. So my friend just sold her house, and she also found a new house. She's very efficient, and she does things. It's like whenever I see her work on things, get things done, I am mind blown, because I procrastinate, I delay, I don't always know what to do. There is a lot of indecision, overthinking, etc. But she's an action person, and so I was very happy to hear that she has sold her house, found a new home, and thankfully she's not moving too far away. But yeah, we used to be like 5 minutes from each other. I'm going to miss that. But thankfully she's not moving out of the state or out of the country, because she's from Canada, and I'm glad that she still is going to be close enough. And my friend in Senegal, she's moving back to France for 6 months, and then she plans to return to Senegal for 3 years. And yeah, there's a lot of movement happening among my friends and stuff. Like, life is ever changing. What someone thought she would be, she had no plan of leaving France, and then she is French, so she wanted to live in France, but then she decided, you know what, I want to go to Senegal. And she does not have children, so she has that freedom of movement. But you know, I would never trade my experience as a parent for that freedom to move around at my will. That will happen once my youngest grows up. I will be freer with my time and whatnot. Once the children start needing you less and less, time opens up more and more. So that possibility remains, but the richness of the experience of parenting, of creating, of being a friend, of having friends, it's I would say, you know, with all its difficulties, life is still beautiful. And even without going into details of what the current challenges are. Some challenges small as, only half a shipment arriving, and some challenges far bigger. But still, overall, would I want it a little easier, more comfortable? Sure. But this is real life, and there is always a lot to be grateful for. So I'm going to leave you on that note and have my tea before it all gets cold. And I will hopefully see you next week with my next vlog. Bye.